Welcome to the VIP MasterClass series. I'm Josh Wright, and today's question comes from David K. And he asks just a lot of general questions. I think today's episode will be of great benefit to each of you because it's mostly talking about things that have sped up my progress throughout my life and little tricks and tips that I've picked up along the way that have made my piano playing go much faster. So I hope this is helpful to those of you who are beginners as well as the most advanced person in the group. So I don't have any technical questions currently. However, I fail to grasp a deeper understanding of concepts and techniques that, while I may not be able to implement today, I certainly hope to in the future from others' VIP questions. With that in mind, I'm a 54-year-old beginning student with about a year of lessons now. And are there any things that you perhaps wish someone would have told you during your first handful of years? Something like, wow, I wish someone had told me fill in the blank, which would have had me avoid some major dead ends or had me thinking about things in a different way earlier than I otherwise did. Or, if you will, are there some aspects of when you started getting serious that you would do different looking back, besides the obvious more practice? The first thing I wish I did more, and this is so stupid that I say this because I could do it today. I have all the equipment. It's just sometimes it's laziness, sometimes it's fear, sometimes it's a lack of confidence. But I wish I would record myself more, to be honest. That's something that every time I do it, I get so much better. Now, you do need to be able to kind of play the piece smoothly before you start recording, unless you're not sure where you're messing up, which sounds kind of silly, but I would always suggest recording yourself, and you can watch my video. It was the most viral video I've ever posted on YouTube so far as a teaching video. I just posted it a couple weeks ago that said, how do you get better at piano much faster? It's a total clickbait title, but I felt like, okay, the importance of recording, no one's going to click on that, and it's such an important concept, and people really gravitated towards it. So that is so important. I'm recording with an AKG microphone, but this one is the one I recommend for all my students. It's just a Yeti Silver Edition. And actually, to be honest, if I'm just doing a little at-home recording, I'll almost always just use that because it just plugs into your USB. You don't have to set up all this other stuff. Having said that, what are things I wish I would have known earlier? I wish I would have had a stronger theoretical foundation. My teacher that started me at age 9, well, I started when I was 5 with my grandma, and she set up a nice sight reading and repertoire and learning and passion for music foundation, but I knew a little bit about theory. And then my teacher, when I went to her, she did like a few months of theory, and then we kind of bagged it because we were so intensely studying all these difficult repertoire pieces. And I wish I would have understood, basic stuff like key signatures and tonic and dominant relationships and resolutions and those types of things. I've made a course on overcoming this. It's called the Pro Practice Technique series. If any of you want to check that out, it goes over scales, arpeggios, triads, and seventh chords. A lot of people ask me in my private lessons, do you teach theory? And I'm like, yeah, we teach it through technique, because then you're killing two birds with one stone. The other like bang for your buck golden pieces of information that I think are just the best are rhythms. I've gone over these extensively, but just to remind you, so, and then those are 2 rhythms, and 3 rhythms. A couple little tips on those: make sure that you're very light on your fast notes, and then your slow note, the one that holds, can be a little more accented. That comes straight from Sergei Babayan, that piece of advice with rhythms. And then do it from the second note. And then from the third note. And then you do 4 rhythms and 5 rhythms. I usually just recommend going up to 5 rhythms unless the piece is really killing you. Then you can do 7 and 9 rhythms as well. Breaking the piece into sections. I luckily had this when I was very young because my teacher was unbelievably good. She would have me memorize and learn pieces in small segments, and a lot of times from the end of the piece and work towards the beginning. That way I'm always finishing to the end. Another exercise that just revolutionized my technique is this. Thank you so much for watching. I've listed 2 links in the description below. One of them is to download this full video that you've just watched the sample for. The other is to view the entire library of VIP Masterclass series videos. I hope you've enjoyed this. Have a great week. Good luck in your practice sessions.